We're using a real janky third-party program, and I'm actually simultaneously checking on my phone to see if it's actually working. If you see it, let me know and post in the comments, and that'll tell me that it's live. But this is the driver's meeting for the Ridge. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes to see if folks drop in, but let me just start by saying thank you to everybody who signed up and is participating. I want to say thank you to the track for being accommodating to all of our requirements and their requirements. And I want to say thank you to, of course, all of the Lemons people that are there. I am not there, so I appreciate Lisa Sims, Jay Lamb, Mike Harrell, Tom Hergert, Christian Mental Ward, all of our Lemons folks. It's really helpful. So I'm seeing comments in here. Jesse Bauman, Toyota Previa racer, I believe, is in the comments. So we're going to assume that it's working fine. If you guys are seeing this and some of your teammates couldn't make it, this is going to be live on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and revisit it. I'm not going to cover a lot of the real basic stuff because that's in the rookie meeting, which is also available on our YouTube channel. It's in the last email that we sent. There's a link to that directly. So I'm going to jump right into it. I've got a beer to drink, so I want to make this pretty quick. So let's just jump right into it. I've got a hoopty-ass handwritten thing of notes here. So for starters, you guys know all of the COVID regulations. Lemons is trying to be a place for people to go during this as an escape, but that doesn't mean that COVID is not a real thing that we're not going to address. The one other race we've done since COVID started in Ginger Man, Lemons people were awesome about following all of the rules we set in place. So we expect the same from you. I don't really have a whole lot of concerns, but definitely masks everywhere. It's a Washington state regulation that you got to be wearing masks no matter where you are. So we're going to certainly follow that. Keep space when you're parking in your paddock, space between each team. And when you're in public areas, try to keep 6 feet away from people and certainly wear your mask everywhere. I got a note from Lisa. The track said that not as many people as there should be have signed their e-waiver. I actually sent I repeated the email link to that. So Lemons has a paper waiver if you haven't gone in the gate yet, but the track has an e-waiver, which requires you to either print or take a screen capture of a QR code. So you will need to do that. As of earlier today, only about 50 people had done that. So I just resent the link. If you got it, make sure all of your teammates are on board with that. That'll just make things move a lot more smoothly at the gate for them. You will also need to bring your own pen. We are not supplying pens. So if you haven't gone in the gate yet, bring your own pen to sign the Lemons waiver, which is a paper waiver. Let's see. So Friday, tomorrow, Turn 2 is running the test day. If you signed up for the test day, that's great. If you haven't signed up for the test day, Turn 2 has the main paddock reserved for that. So we want to respect that. You'll be able to come inside the facility, but you have to park in a remote area outside of the main paddock. You're welcome to stay wherever you wind up as your permanent paddock space if you want, or you can stage somewhere and wait until the test day is over and move into the main paddock if that's what you want to do. But it is Turn 2's day, so definitely don't get in their way because we want to work together with them to make everything go as smoothly as possible. All right. When you're going through tech and BS, BS is actually going to happen first. And for each team, only one person should bring the car through. We're not going to do the normal group thing that we normally do. Just one team representative. You'll do BS first. And don't forget to bring and fill out your tech form. There was a link to the blank tech form in all of the emails that were sent out. It's also on our rules page. Bring that. once you're done with BS, drive the car forward into the tech area. You'll do the kill switch test. You'll do the brake light test, everything that requires you to be in the car with the car running. After all that's done, you can get out and sort of observe from a distance, so we can say apart from you, and leave your tech sheet in the passenger footwell. And let's see. Yes, I've got all of that done. Gear tech is a little different. And let me just say, we sent out a map to all of these locations where it's going to happen on site. So check your email for that. Gear tech, we are changing it to you wear all of your gear to gear tech, which is not normally how we do it. We're doing that obviously so we don't have to dig through your sweaty COVID infected bag to look for your helmet stickers. We'll be able to keep a little bit more distance doing it that way. And honestly, all you guys, I know that you really want to be wearing your racing suit at all times to show everybody in the area how awesome you are. So do that for gear tech. All of the hours are listed on the email. Hot pit fueling. Actually, I'm going to touch on hot pit fueling a little bit later. One note we got from the track, and actually this has been a problem the last couple of times we're there. They don't want people testing their race cars on the little road that's outside the track. I know it's remote, but there are neighbors, and the track has gotten complaints about that. So even if your track car is street legal, don't test it, don't bed in brakes, don't make sure your turbo is creating boost on the public street outside the facility. That'll help us keep up good relations with the neighbors. And let me just move on. Flags, I'm just going to cover real quick. Again, we've got a much more detailed version of this in the rookie meeting online, which is also on our YouTube channel, and it was linked in the email that you were sent. Yellow, red, green, it's just like a traffic light. Green is go, red is stop safely. Yellow, there's something you need to be aware of. There's no passing. Once you have passed the incident, you are welcome to resume racing, but you need to be hyper aware of whether or not there's a secondary incident or whether the next flag station has a yellow flag. So be aware of that. I mean, really just, don't get tunnel vision. It's a racing cliche, but it's certainly true of lemons, which is you can't win the race in one corner, but you could certainly lose it. So if something seems dicey, you probably don't need to worry about going for that particular pass at that particular time. Black flags, the main thing to know about black flags, you guys know what those are. Again, explained in the rookie meeting. The penalty box location has changed. We're doing it the same place we did last fall. So if you were at the last fall race, you'll know where that is. If you've been to a previous race at the Ridge, it's a new location. So check the map for that. It's on the map. All right, so fueling, we're doing hot pit fueling, which we've always done at the Ridge. The first thing is make sure that if you're parked along the hot pit wall, hopefully we have that blocked off, but we need to keep a driving lane in between where teams are paddocked and the hot pit wall. There just needs to be a buffer there. And then everybody over the wall needs to be fully decked out in driver's gear. That's helmet, suit, gloves, shoes. There's a minimum of 2 people for fueling, 1 person doing the actual fueling, the other person manning the fire extinguisher. No driver in the car is allowed. Kill switch needs to be off. The only things allowed in the hot pits are driver changes, cool suit fluid updates, adding ice or whatever, and refueling. Anything else, whether it's cleaning the windshield, whether it's checking the tire pressure, whether it's checking the fluids, you got to bring it into the back paddock. The paddock speed limit is 10 miles per hour. The hot pit speed limit, this is always a topic of discussion. People want to know exactly what the hot pit speed limit is, and there isn't one, although we always say reasonable, and to us reasonable means really 35 to 40 miles an hour. I mean, how fast you would want to comfortably go by somebody standing on the sidewalk. And that's, again, one of those things, there's no sense in pushing it. If you feel like, oh, well, I got flagged and I was only going 41. Well, there's no reason to really risk it. That's not how you're going to win the race. So that's in the hot pits. In the paddock, it's 10 miles an hour. I have personally flagged a team at the Ridge for having feral children running around in the paddock during the race. So that's another thing to be aware of in the paddock. It's pretty compact there in the paddock. So be aware of feral children, dogs, whatever else. It's 10 miles an hour, so that shouldn't be an issue. Let's see. One more note about fueling. During the race, the hot pit is, or while the race is green, the hot pit is, that's the only place you can fuel your car while the race is green. There's no paddock fueling. While the race is not on, i.e. Saturday night, Sunday morning, you are able to fuel your car if the car is cold, if the track is cold. And definitely, use common sense when it comes to spills and cardboard and whatever else. Let's see. And really, lastly, don't leave your broken ass stuff behind. This really hasn't been a problem at the Ridge, but we want to leave the place as clean as possible when we leave. Don't forget that your car components can be easily connected to your car. We've had Subaru teams leave blocks behind, and there's no mistaking a Subaru block for anything else. So, just use common sense for that. All right, so I think I've covered about all of the basics. I'm going to now run through to see if there are any questions in the comments. And obviously, if there are any questions that come up, you can email me. It's Nick at 24 Hours of Lemons. Jay will be on site. Lisa will be on site to answer questions. We want to try to make this as obvious as possible. We don't want to make it confusing at all. But we also want to maintain our distancing. So anything that we can address and clarify ahead of time, that's what we want to do. All right, so that's it for this. If you need any clarification on flagging or any of the Real Lemons basics, we definitely encourage you to watch the Lemons rookie meeting, which was linked in the last email, and it's also available on our YouTube channel. And so if you feel like you're good to go, all of you pro veterans, you Previa racers, all of you, real seasoned Lemons people, you're welcome to go. I'm going to look through real quick to see if there are any questions in the comments. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So this is not a huge surprise for the Ridge. A 72 Blazon. I hope that means a 72 K5 Blazer. He says, for parking, the usual remote parking areas are being graded for paving. It was blocked off earlier this week, and I don't know if it will be available for parking this weekend or not. That's the kind of thing that always happens at the Ridge. We think we have space, and then we don't. All I can say for that is stay out of the main paddock area on Friday if you're not a registered testing person, because we don't want to make turn 2 upset. If that means you sort of have to park in a weird place until Saturday, then that's what that means. There should be enough space on site to make it work. Just try to be as reasonable as possible with the folks there. Let's see, Matt, or let's see, here we go. Timbra Bjornsson says, are there any turning or braking cones on the track? I don't know the answer to that, although I will say don't rely on them, because even if there are, they're going to be run over by a Toyota Previa in about the first 7 minutes of the race. So, use other visual cues than ones that can be run over by a Lemons car. Matthew asks, race start, pass before the start line on green. Let me just say, I'm not 100% sure the specifics of what you're asking, but let me just say that is a classic question that if you lose 30 seconds at the beginning of the race on Saturday because you want to play it safe, that's better than trying to jump the start and winding up in the penalty box. But yes, generally speaking, once you see a green flag or a blank man station, that means the race is green and you are welcome to pass. Chris Ray says there are usually cones. He is a veteran Ridge racer, so there are usually cones. I would again say don't rely on them, but if they're there, you can use them. Art Jenkins asked, can I bring charcoal briquettes for Dutch oven cooking in the camp area? That is a question I don't know the answer to. Generally speaking, the track is okay with that as long as there's not like a huge open flame. And obviously use common sense. Don't put your Weber grill next to your fuel containers and all that. 72 Blazin says, yes, it's a K5 Blazer. That's awesome. Good news. Cash Clark is asking how many teams are attending. I think the final count was 48, which is maybe slightly on the smaller side, although that's within the margin of error for a Ridge race. It's a good, solid group. Timbra is asking, with no spectators at the track, are there areas for the crew to watch from? As far as I know, all of the public areas that are normally spectator areas will be open during the weekend. Again, that's a track question that I might be talking out of my ass, but definitely there is the area, I don't know the turn numbers, but the area way over by the entrance, by the little squiggle that comes down the hill, whatever you call that, the corkscrew type thing, that's a great place to watch. They have a new bridge there that the Lemons hasn't been to the Ridge since they constructed the bridge at the Ridge, which I think opens up more of the infield area on the track to view from. And as far as I know, that's going to be open for crew. So enjoy that. Beesball says, all your base are belong to us. You know, I am old enough to understand that reference. That was a big thing when I was in college in 2001. Kevin Miller says the guy with the asking about the green flag start line will be the first guy in the penalty box. Yes, I mean, we are jaded to really come down hard on the people that are looking for the fraction of seconds advantage. We do realize that that is a normal racer question to ask. It's not so applicable in Lemons. Playing it safe, and if you're not sure, erring on the side of losing some time is generally the best way to go. Guy Argo, oh God, Kevin Miller says bridge isn't open yet, but they sent us a picture of it constructed. So what makes it not open? Well, there you go. That is a bummer. And Guy Argo was happy, and now he's not happy. Well, I feel your pain, Guy Argo. I'm not even there, and I was excited about the bridge. Well, in any case, there are some good places to watch from the paddock. And like I said, all of those should be open to everybody. All right. I think that about covers it. Again, if you are watching this and there are people on your team who aren't able to see it, this is going to be live on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to rewatch it. And the rookie meeting is also on there, linked from the previous email. And that should be about it. Okay, one final question. This will be it. And if you have any more questions, feel free to email me, nick@24hourslemons.com. Timber Bjornson is asking, how do we know what racing class we fall into? As soon as you go through BS, the judge will let you know. If you have a Previa, you have more of a chance of not being in Class A. Let's just say that. So, and it's very arbitrary. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna call it there. Enjoy the race. Again, thank you for coming. Be nice to the Ridge staff. Be nice to the Lemon staff. Enjoy yourselves. We hope that this is an escape. We want it to be a safe thing that you guys can do during this whole pandemic. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much. And we will see you at the next one.